Okay, I think that is all good. Sorry, we had a few extra things to set up today, so it's taking me just a little bit longer, but, well, a little bit longer to feel like everything is set up, but I think we are all good, so I'll go across to here. Hello, I hope everyone is having a good day. Welcome. If you've noticed that the mannequin is, in fact, a little bit bigger, that is just because it is closer. So I want to be making a pattern today, and it is just 100 times easier if I can use this to sort of work out what I'm doing. Also, Dope Zone, hello, I hope you're having a good day. Thank you very much, it's very kind of you. Yeah, we changed it on Monday, I want to say. I think Monday was when I changed it up. And then on Wednesday, I had it where I flipped over this side and flipped it over the yellow. And then everyone was like, where's the yellow gone? So I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that for a little while because people will think that I've just got rid of the yellow and I haven't got rid of the yellow. The yellow is still there. So I'll keep it split for a while, just down the centre so no one thinks I've got rid of a colour. Also, Zero, good morning. I hope you're having a good day. Welcome. Yeah, we're going to be making a pattern today. For some reason, I always do this off streams. I don't know why. I don't know what this has been, but whenever I start a new piece of a costume, also Zay, hello. I hope you're having a good day. The Batman villain. God damn it. Yeah. Whenever I do a new piece of the pattern, I always seem to bring it onto stream and here's like, oh, here is a pattern piece that I've made. And quite often that's because I've made it previously, or I've used something similar for a different costume, so it's like I don't need to make it again from scratch. That would be a waste of resources. But for this, it is just going to be useful to make something completely new. I haven't really made a coat that cuts off at the waist before. Well, I have, but not for a very long time, and I definitely don't have a pattern for it. Like, that is something that it's not really very practical, so I wouldn't really normally use it. Nor is it something that I'd buy a pattern for. Because if you go shopping for patterns, they're normally more practical patterns, like not a coat that cuts off at the waist. Oh dear, just playing some Ghost of Tsushima tonight. See, I think it was Dem that was playing that a lot, and it looked like a really good game. I don't think it's a game that I'd be very good at, but it looked like a fun game. Regardless, it looked fun. I just don't think I think I'd enjoy it and be very bad at it. Minimal, hello! I did change my hair. I changed it on Monday. And yes, I split it. I did actually do most of the painting. I painted it down the center. I couldn't find my my big dye brush, which is like really thick. So I used one of my tiny paint brushes and I was just like, and painted it in. But actually it really wasn't too difficult. Even with my like twitchy hands, because the hair kind of just pushes up, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I think the most difficult thing has been making sure I part it in the same place every day. And only a few hours in, still figuring out the mechanics, we're enjoying it so far. It did seem like a really fun, like one of those fun games where you could just sort of run around in. And I love games where you, like open world games, I suppose. I just love open world games. Where it gives you that freedom to sort of play the game to an extent how you want to play it. Like it sets it up for you, but you can kind of go in and play it how you want. And it seemed like that sort of game. It's just there's going to be some sort of skill level that you probably want to have, and I don't know that I'd necessarily have it. Also, Blue, good morning! I didn't realise you matched your makeup to your hair! Yeah, on Tuesday I did one eye yellow and one eye red, but then I realised as soon as I got on camera that it just looked like I hadn't done my makeup on one eye. The yellow really doesn't show up that much on camera, so it looked like I'd done one eye pink and one eye just not at all. So yeah, I might not do that again for stream. I might do that to go into work. Speaking of which, actually, after stream today, I want to make a face mask for work. It shouldn't take too long, but before D&D, I want to make a face mask so that when I go into work, I can wear a new face mask that matches this hat. Because I'm still wearing the ones I made before, which are like blue. And, you know, which is fine, they're pretty, but it really doesn't match anything that's going on up here right now. And my uniform is black, so it's a lot. It's a lot to be like fully black uniform, bright blue, all of this. And I'd like it if I could have a mask that was also split down the middle and then had like yellow on one side and pink on the other. And I think, have some yellow and pink fabric, so I should be able to do that. And then I might also do one where it's the other way, so the other side is like this side would be yellow and this side would be pink, so then halfway through my shift I can swap it and be like, it's the little things. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah, so I was inspired by drumstick candy. I don't know how many people, it seems like a lot of people do know it, and I didn't realise it was this popular. I really like drumsticks, but it's like a lollipop style candy, but like chewy at the end, and then it's half pink and half yellow on the candy itself, and I was inspired by that. That's what I wanted my head to look like. I was a little concerned this was going to come out lime green, because there's definitely undertones of blue on my hair from where my hair was still blue, but it turned out quite bright yellow, so that's been good. Cool. Thanks, Nightbot. I know what that is. Nightbot, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to do something that doesn't exist yet. But thank you. I do appreciate it, but I haven't actually set that up for you to do yet. But thank you. I'm going to have to... Sorry. Nightbot is trying to do something, I think, that I haven't actually... Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Or maybe... What if I do this? I've been fiddling with Nightbot a bit. That's on me. I'm not great with stream stuff. I wonder if that fixes it. But thank you, Nightbot, for telling me that I got it wrong. I appreciate it. I wanted it like a drumstick in my head. Yeah, so like my hair's the drumstick and then I'm the stick. This is what I wanted to look like. Yeah. And the other thing we have is now we have a calendar for December, because December ends up being quite a busy month. It's really small on there. I don't know how well you can see. Also, Emilia, your sleeve is quite... Emilia. It's okay. Oh! Oh my god! Oh, where have I gone? Okay, sorry, I clicked something and I lost everything. I'm so sorry. I think I'm back. Oh dear. But yeah. I think you can still see what I'm doing at least. It's just I'm gonna be a little bit hidden. But yes. we have quite a lot going on in December. It's not quite as bad as October, where October was like multiple things happening a week, and it was just like, there's a lot going on. But yes, there's quite a lot. Also, yes, there is auto horn right now. Oh, auto horn is in motion, boys. So Eru, also if you go into the channel points and try clicking the Venga horn right now. Try clicking it. Also, Mum Sucks, good morning. I hope you're having a lovely morning. Also, I'm going to put my tea down in case Sir Eru does do the horn. Why no? No! Why did it not work? No! It's meant to do the thing! It's meant to do the thing! You're gonna lurk. Thank you so much for the lurk, Mum Socks. I could not hear it. God damn it. What is this? I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed. Wow, you hear lots of horn. I hear no horn. Flip. Why is there no horn? God damn it. I'll play the horn for you. There you go. There's the horn. I'm gonna have to do more tampering with that. No, there is the horn for you. I will do your horn, but like, it's meant to do it automatically, and I don't. Why no work? Why no work? You know, so far I've done a lot of work yesterday to make 2 things work, and so far we're 0 for 2. You know, this sounds about right though, to be quite honest. Being 0 for 2, I'm like, yeah, yeah. This sounds about right. Where did I? Oh no! Now I can't even find my horn. Where is my horn? Where has my horn gone? Oh, you know what? I'll give it a look afterwards. Oh, they've gone up in price. Yeah. So the reason that I'd put them up in price was because they were meant to go automatically. So it was meant to be that they've gone up in price, but the trade-off is because it's meant to go so that I don't know that it happens, right? But that's not happening. So now it just seems like they've gone up in price, but it's meant to be an automatic horn. Dear. Project Auto Horn is back, boys. God damn it! Why is it like this? Right, I need to do some craft. But yes, I did want to mention we have a lot of things that are happening in the December. We have on the 2nd of December we have the Mind charity stream. That's kind of a celebration for 1,000 followers, which, by the way, thank you everyone. It's very, very kind. But then we never really set any goals. It's just been really, really fun, and yeah, thank you so much. It's been very, very cool. And I was a bit shocked on Wednesday, but yeah, big thanks. Big thanks. And that's kind of our 1,000 follower stream, but it's also just gonna be a charity stream because I think that's kind of more my vibes. And for anyone who wants to donate to the stream, because we don't have donations open, you can donate to charity. And then, kind of similar to that, excuse me, sorry. Oh my god, we're hitting it early with the coughs. But on the 11th we had another charity stream, but that one is part of a much bigger charity event. So Starlight Foundation stream, I'm actually right at the end of that, because that is like a week-long event where there is loads of streamers taking part in that. Now, I can't even list off right now all of the streamers taking part in that because there is 50 plus streamers signed up to take part in this. It's a huge event with lots of streamers, and it's like not just craft streamers. There are a lot of craft streamers taking part in it, but there are a lot of other streamers taking part in it as well. And so yeah, it's a lot. And yeah, so that is starting on the, I believe it's the 4th, so the Friday before up until the 11th. And kind of similar to when we did if anyone was here around that time in October, we did the Ren Fair. And we raided somebody else from the Ren Fair, they raided somebody else from the Ren Fair, they raided somebody else from the Ren Fair, and it kind of just went and went and went, but on a much larger scale, in that there will be multiple of this charity stream going on at once. We will raid somebody else who is also doing this charity stream, but there will be other ones going on. So if we raid somebody who's not your cup of tea and you want to continue watching someone from the charity stream, I'll try to find a way where I can find all of the streamers taking part and see if I can get that out to you somehow. It might take me a few days because, first of all, they are still confirming streamers. And second, there are so many. But I already know a lot of them and they are all so lovely. Black Apple was actually the one who was like, hey, would this be something you'd be interested in? And I was like, yes! Because it is such a lovely group of people, and also the charity itself is wonderful. For those who don't know or haven't seen the post on Discord, the Starlight Foundation is an organisation that entertains and basically provides some form of entertainment for seriously ill children in hospital. So quite often children that have to spend a large amount of time in hospital. And yeah, so it is a lovely organisation, a really, really lovely one. And then later on in the month, we have our Christmas Eve stream. The Christmas Eve stream, I know what I'm doing. It's gonna be cursed and you're all gonna hate it, but I'm gonna have the time of my Christmas Eve life. And yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a little bit different from what we normally gonna do. Technically, it was something that I wanted to do back in June or July, but I just didn't have anything that meant that I could physically do it. And it's gonna be really fun. I'm just gonna have a laugh and I'm gonna really enjoy it, and that's what we're gonna do on Christmas Eve. Also, Winged, hello, and Oz, hello. I'm sorry I'm missing chat. Apologies. Lots of Serene taking part. I'm so confused right now. What did I miss? Oh, so sorry. We're just talking about what's going on in December really, really briefly because it's a bit of a busy month for us. Helly King, did you already make the cosplay that won the last vote? No. So we're making Nico, which is the cosplay that's won the last vote, in December. So all of the craft streams that are happening in December, that'll be to make Nico. And at the end, on the 31st, that's the Nico stream. That's when we'll be wearing Nico on stream. So yes. Just walk in there and plonk your tattoo follow down the table and be like, I'm kind of a big deal. No, it's I don't know. I feel very lucky because everyone that I talk to and everyone who I have talked to in the past, they've all been very lovely. So I think it's just a nice collection of people who've been really nice. Uncle Alexi, hello! Oh, with coming in with the koala. Oh, I hope you're having a good day. Thank you so much. We're slowly becoming sweetness. Rudolph cosplay. No. I'll tell you right now, it's got nothing to do with cosplay. It's just cursed. But it's gonna be good. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm guessing speech to text streamers as Serena. Oh. Okay, I'll probably forget a few times before then. That's okay. Don't worry. You can ask as many times as you like. Or we'll be making it. And then maybe you'll see. All of the hugs. My day is good. How are you been? I am good, thank you. I'm very good. I've run out of purple thread nearly. This is the amount of thread we have of purple. So as you can see, we're running danger thin. But what I want to see if I can do is get as far through this as possible. So there's basically, it needs a line of stitches at one end, just so I can recover some pins from this before I start trying to make my pattern. Because I need a lot of pins. I need to be pinning fabric into this to try and get the shape that I want. And my pin donut is a little bit sparse because all of my pins are in this. So I'm going to try and sew this as far up as I physically can. And then if I run out of thread, I run out of thread. If I get the whole way down, amazing, I've got all of my pins back. Yes. We can't do long zigzags. We cannot, in fact, do the long zigzags. I'm so sorry. It will be a small running stitch today, and that is it with the purple. We have nothing. But it's okay, because tomorrow I go into work. I'm only doing overtime on Sunday today. This is going to happen a lot as well. So in December, I have booked myself in for quite a lot of overtime. They haven't confirmed it, but I have put myself out there to do it. Because first of all, it's Christmas season and I work in retail. and it's a busy season. People need it. But secondly, because I'm saving for a PC, so yeah, I'm trying to do that extra bit of money over the Christmas season, and yes. So if I do less sewing over the weekend, I have a good excuse. I was busy, but it also means I'm going into Cardiff, and hopefully I should be able to get some thread then. Because ordering thread to your house is a nightmare. You pay like double the amount on postage as you do the thread. No. Retail doing Christmas and COVID. Yeah, I mean, it's not a lovely place to be. It also added in retail doing Christmas and COVID. And you have a pre-existing lung condition. But like, you know what? It's like, I'll be honest, if at the moment it's as busy as Christmas in the shops, and it has been for like a while, I think people are so worried, but people are also very kind, at least in my experience of going into the shops at the moment. You'd expect, I think, with how busy it is, that people are really rowdy a lot of the time, and normally at this time of year, if it was this busy, people would be, but people have been much chiller than they normally are. I think they're just happy to be able to go into the shops. So I, you know, as much as it's not ideal, it could have been worse. People are taking it chill. They're taking extra time if they need to. One thing, you know, there's a lot of issues, and there's a lot of things I don't like about what's been happening, but I don't know what it is. People in the UK, they see a queue and they just get in that queue. It's a very weird, like, half the time I don't think they even know what they're queuing for, but like, it's oh, it's very funny. And like, you see people queue and they're like, oh, this isn't even where I want to be, and then they'll just leave. But they're very good at queuing. So, and with everything that's going on, you have to do a lot more queues than normal. So, you know, oh, Nightbot, you did it this time. Oh my god, I did something. But, yes. So, you know, all things considered, it can be a lot worse. People are still being quite polite. Considering how busy it is, normally it'd be a lot more frantic. It's not been like that. That everyone is just getting into queues left, right, and centre. That's been really good. People see a barrier and they're like, ah, yes, queue. And yeah, but you know what? Under the current circumstances, perfect. That is exactly what we need. You've got, like, I'll be there to like help people queue, and like sometimes it'll be helping people to queue for like one thing or the another thing, and it's like they'll be queuing. It's like, you don't need to queue. You could just go. But it's like really nice, and they'll be like, oh, that's nice, and they'll just go straight through, and it's like, ah, yes. So it's like a really nice positive interaction, but like, and you know, I think again, retail can be like a really scary time, and like not fun at all. But these little positive interactions, great. Don't say that if Bob can hear you. I'm sorry, Bob. And Bob, I will still use you. Even if I get a PC, I will still use you. The roasting bits. Love to see it. Gizzard high! Lemming mentality. Kind of. I think it's also because like most shops in Wales, at least at the moment, they do have a queuing system, regardless of size. I think even like the really big ones, they still have to queue because there's a shop capacity, and with social distancing you can't go above that capacity, and it is fair to say it's busy. It's really busy, so you have to queue everywhere. Even if you get in early, before shops open there'll be a queue outside every shop, and because the shops are quite close together, a lot of the time I think people are getting into queues and just being like, well, I'm going somewhere. But in like the nicest possible way. It's really nice to see just people following those rules, because there's been a lot of like, I think, complaining about people not following rules, and it's been an issue. But one of the rules that I've seen people consistently follow is they see a queue and they get in it, and that's been nice. Also, Mob Strudel, hello! Also, Nightbot worked! I know this isn't gonna seem like a big thing to many people, but like, I'm really bad. and all this sort of thing. Also, my scissors. No. Right, I'm gonna see if I have any. I think I do have. I have more purple bobbin than I have purple thread on top, but that's okay. It means we'll probably run out of the top thread before I run out of the bobbin. But that's alright. That's alright. I'm not going insane. And I don't know. It's odd, but also kind of not odd. Because you know what? I also get into cues like nothing else. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I love cues. I don't love cues. But like, I'm very passive about cues. I will just get into cues and be like, yeah, it's just part of life. I'll just get into a cue. And this has been like forever. So I guess it's just kind of ingrained in me that cues are fine. And since there are so many cues now, it just kept going with it. But yeah, people have been very good about it. There are definitely some people that are in a rush and they'll see a queue and they'll be like, I probably can't do that. But they're not here taking it out on the retail staff or anything like that. They'll just look at the queue and be like, no. But you know, that's all we can really ask for. If you can't take the time to queue, then don't come into the store. And that's what they do. So it's all good. Oh, see, there's no going in my path. Oz, there's always social distance here. Yeah, which is the safest thing to do, isn't it? Just to keep on the safe side. Which I'm very passionate about queues. I love the queues. Oh, Cutie, hi, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. And Bren, I've noticed Brits are indeed very passionate about queues. I think it's, I knew it was a thing, right? I did, but like, I think just being in it, I didn't really notice it. I just kind of was like, yeah, you know, if there's a queue that I have to get in, it's a queue that I have to get in. And I never really thought too hard about it. But now, especially as someone who often will be helping people get into queues, I don't have to help. I just stand there and I watch and I'm like, oh yeah, people know what they're doing. We're good at this. This is, you know, there's a lot of things I think the British public might struggle with, but queuing isn't it. Like, we're good at this. This is one thing where I think we truly excel at, is putting ourselves into queues. And under the current climate, it's been really good. It's really helped. And yeah, big positive. Thank you to everyone who has been putting themselves calmly into queues and just standing there 2 meters apart. It's been great. I don't have to do anything. I just sit there and I'm like, okay. Oh, cutie. God. Maybe to be an artisan can take a walk. Only cues it. Oh, my favorite cue is sighing. Yeah, just being there and being like, Oh, I was in one queue actually though, which things did get a little bit rowdy. And that was a queue to one of the stores, and we were queuing. To be fair, I did queue for like an hour and 15 minutes. But there was an issue at the front, and we couldn't see that. And the gentleman behind me, it got to the point where he asked me what I was queuing for. So it got a little bit rowdy, that one did. He asked me what I was queuing for, and I said, oh, I'm queuing to collect this. Because it was a collections thing, so we'd already all purchased our items. So we were just queuing to collect. And yeah, it was just over an hour that we were there for. And like, not in cars, we were just standing. Yeah, we couldn't see the front, so we couldn't see what was happening. And so it was like Chinese whispers, and then the people at the front were just, you know, passing information back. And eventually the lady in front was like, so we've just heard from the front that there seems to be an issue at the till or something along those lines. And I was like, alright, no, there seems to be an issue at the till or something. And then he turned around, no, there seems to be an issue at the till. No, typical, no, yeah. This was like after an hour. Oh dear, and no one got up or left that queue. We were all just there like, well, we need to collect our things, so I suppose we'll stay. Oh, it is kind of madness, but it's how it is sometimes. Cut in line, 2 to 3 signs increasing as intensity and something is said. Oh yeah, no, there is no cutting in line. That's absolute no. Guardian, is that tea? It is. So this is, oh, I have to tell you. Okay, so this is an English breakfast tea. At the moment I'm drinking PG Tips because we have got some Yorkshire downstairs, Yorkshire decaf, but I need to get through the PG Tips before I can get to the Yorkshire decaf. But it's all good. It's all good. We'll get there. Oh, this is the line for the Purple Monkey dishwasher. I love. It's weird, but I love it. I think as well just because there is this weird like etiquette to it, queuing. But everyone's very chill about it for the most part. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't want to be there, you can leave. But there's this stubbornness to it in that, like, well, I've been here for this length of time, I'm not leaving. I'm just gonna stand. But yeah, I was gonna tell you, I got my calendar for the year. I haven't received it yet, but I have ordered it. And I've never lived next to one of these stores, but there are these stores in the UK. Oh, I remember this fabric. This fabric is thick. That's okay. We have to go slow through this fabric, but that's okay. There are these stores in the UK, and they're called T2, as in like, speaking of queues and things like that, it's literally like this, T2. And I don't know if they're anywhere else. They very much could be. So feel free to tell me. But they sell tea, and I've only visited them a couple of times when, like, I think I visited Bath at one point and they had a T2 there. And I might have visited somewhere else and they had a T2 there. Again, I've only seen them once or twice. And they're really cool. They do a lot of really interesting teas. The teas that they do that are like more standard are really, really nice. So they just do nice teas. And they're doing a tea advent calendar. So like 24 different teas in an advent calendar, and they're doing a loose leaf and a tea bagged one. I'm doing the bagged one because it's just easier for me. Like it's easier to wake up and do that and less washing up. So I'm doing that, and it just sounds really, really nice. I'm very excited. And so yeah, on stream during December, I'm gonna have different tea every single day. I mean, there'll be some that I suppose you'll miss because I'll be at work, but there's some really interesting flavours. I mean, a lot of them are like the standard really nice ones, which I think is a nice mix because, like, you know, I like the idea of there just being like a chai tea every now and again because I don't get to drink chai tea very often. It's not something that I really have in the house. And I kind of, you know, at the beginning of the year, I was like, I only really drink this when I'm out of the house, and I kind of want to keep it as like that's out of the house. But now I'm like, I'm never gonna drink it again. So it's just be nice to have one or two, and that's cool. Probably the most British thing I've heard in a while, a tea advent calendar. But doesn't it sound lovely though? And like just waking up every day and having a different cup of tea. I think that sounds lovely. And then if there's someone there that I really like, I can go to T2 and order like a box of them. I mean, I probably wouldn't order more than one or two because they are a little bit dearer. But yeah, they are nice. It's kind of like those slightly fancier teas that you might have in your cupboard that you bring out for guests and be like, but I have this if you fancy it. You know, it's just for the special occasion, then you bring out that tea. Oh, when they announced that we were going back into lockdown, they did it at about 1 PM and told everyone the lockdown would start at midnight, and actually everyone in the city ran to the grocery store. Oh, yeah, I guess that's what happens if you do it. I mean, I think that's probably the best way of doing it very quickly, but yeah, if you do it within a day, everyone's gonna panic, but yeah, it's only because people panic that things run out. Oh, god damn it. Oh yeah? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Sorry, I'm just having a small argument with my machine, like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing? It is annoying. Oh, I hope that you don't run out of anything, actually. It's a very short one though, isn't it? So hopefully, nothing actually runs out. I still remember back then, it's like, there's no toilet paper anywhere. If you want to get toilet paper, good luck was what's happening in the UK at one point. Like, god damn it. Why? Why is it like this? Why must you take the toilet roll? we will look back upon these times and think, questionable. I think what spooked everyone was that they said all takeaway food would be closed for 6 days. Now that, yeah, no, you know what? Terrifying. That is legitimately scary. I wasn't even necessarily thinking about getting takeaway in the next 6 days, but the idea that I can't, that, yeah. Like, what if I really mess up making dinner one day? I need that as a backup. This is my thoughts always, is I could really mess up dinner one of these days, and if I don't have a backup, I don't know if I can live with the guilt. I think I've yet to experience Brits showing me their fancy tea considering practically part of it. Oh, because you're really part of the family already. Oh. That's probably a nice place to be in though. Like, when my family comes over, I'm not here like, here's my fancy tea collection. I'm like, I know what you want. You want your breakfast tea. I mean, I'll get you Yorkshire. Yorkshire's like my favourite, and I know my family like that one as well. So we'll get you Yorkshire Gold if it's on special. But like, I'm not gonna bring out like, you know, some of the other ones. But I do have a lot of friends that are like, they like tea. They like tea. And if they pop over, I'll be like, we do also have these ones, if you fancy it. Because I know they like tea. And I'm like, yes, I also like tea. We have these. Only gonna end up being 3 days. I defrosted some minced beef and pork and made a double batch of bolognese. Bolognaise is delicious. It scares me people don't have the long life food at home. I'm good for at least a month or two of just my pantry. I don't think I'd be good for that long. We just don't have that space, I suppose, to have that much long life food. But like, we would be good for a couple weeks for sure, because we do have like pasta and rice in our house. You know, as much as they say like, if I messed up a meal, I'd be like, what do I do? It's like we physically could make things, and also we always have some meals in the freezer, like some stuff that we could just reheat, because like sometimes you just don't want to cook. And so it's always nice to have some frozen meals that I've made in advance that I can just reheat. Also, I often make extra that I just don't want to eat throughout the week. And it's like, I'll just freeze it. And I'll just pop that in the freezer and eat it another day. Because there's only 2 people living in this house, it happens a lot. The lockdown announcement caught me on a grocery shop day just before I went, so my supplies were the lowest point. No! I wake up and Cal and be like, here's your builder's tea, deal with it. Oh. See, I'll be honest though, whenever we've had builders around, they get like the best. Just putting it out there. Builders get like the best tea here. They also get biscuits if they fancy it. As do plumbers and electricians. If we have biscuits in the house, like, not at the moment because COVID and we're not really allowed to do that sort of thing, but normally I would offer biscuits and tea. Because it's like, I don't know, that's just kind of how I remember it happening. If you have somebody coming over and doing work in your house, you offer them tea and biscuits. And so that's what we would do. I don't really know. I think Brits are the ones who made tea a great deal here in India. Really? You might be right. Personally, I'm not sure myself. I'm not sure. I know that we have a lot of different teas now that are becoming more popular, because, you know, the one that's really the staple here is like the breakfast tea. We don't even really call it breakfast tea. I'm just calling it breakfast tea so people know what I'm talking about. Here, it is just called tea. If somebody said, do you want a cup of tea? That is what you would get. You'd get breakfast tea. You just ask for tea. You'd have to ask for anything else specifically if that's what you wanted, because the standard tea is breakfast tea. But, yeah, I don't think... I don't know, that's just kind of like how it is. Like, if I pop around someone's house, the first thing I feel like either I offer when someone comes in my house, or if I go around someone else's, is, do you want a cup of tea? It's just, I don't know, just such a standard thing. Also, Bo, hello! I hope you're having a good day. Welcome. Darjeeling is probably my favourite tea. Actually, I don't know if I've had a lot of Darjeeling, you know. I'd have to try it a few more times. There's a few places I like to go and try new teas. Because sometimes when I'm trying a new tea, I like someone else to make it for me. Just so that I know that I'm having it right. That sounds very fancy. But, you know, because there are some teas that want to be brewed a very specific way. And, I don't want to have a tea and think that I don't like it just because I messed it up basically. There's a nice place, there's a couple nice places actually near me. I don't know if they're doing too much right now, but yeah, I could probably try. It'd be on the menu for sure. I'm pretty confident. Sorry, my machine struggles with this a little bit, so I'm taking it slow and just, yeah, that's why we go slow through this bit. But we're getting a lot of our pins back. My donut is looking a lot fuller. I don't know a lot of varieties of tea. I just know we call chai here. I love chai. Chai is the one that I've really missed because I never have chai in the house. But often when I go out with friends and we're getting tea, I might get an English breakfast, but then I might follow it up and get a chai. And because it's like one of my favourite types of tea, but I would never make it in the house normally. I'd normally only get it when I'm out. And yeah, it's one of my favourites. So yeah, that's part of the reason I was so interested in getting the advent calendar from T2, because there was a couple different types of chai. There was a standard chai and then there was another chai in there as well, I believe. And yeah, I don't know, just trying a couple, because I really don't know as much about that tea. I just know the ones that I get when I'm out and about. And if I could order some into my house, I'm like, maybe I can have some in my house. Maybe I can. Because I think it's going to be a while until it's like in the UK at least I can go to a coffee shop like regularly like I used to, or like a tea shop regularly like I used to. And so it might be worth just getting it into the house. First time having Darjeeling was when my grandpa took us to India. That sounds like a nice memory. Oh dear. What's the Darksider? Hello! Angon, hello! What is up? I hope you're both having a lovely day. Right now, I don't know if you can see, look how scant. This is my purple thread. I just want to get some of my pins back from this piece of fabric before we start pinning any pattern pieces to here. So I haven't made any of the pattern yet, but I need pins, and that so many of my pins are in this piece of fabric, so I'm just trying to use the purple thread that I have to go through as much of this as possible. If I don't get the whole way through, that's okay. I've got some of them back. That's what we're doing. 1K height! Yeah! God, that snuck up on me. I'll be honest, if somebody hadn't mentioned it during the stream, I don't think I would have known. Because, yeah, yeah, but big height. Big thanks to everyone who has been super supportive. And also, like, I try to thank people, you know, as and when, like, obviously when they send me messages, but also when we make changes to the stream. But like, a big thanks to everyone who's like helped me so much with updating my stream to do things that help, like, with like positively with the stream. Like, there are definitely some things I need to fix. We almost had an automatic horn, but it doesn't work, so I'm going to have to fix that. But we're getting there with the automatic horn. I have a clear path to maybe how I can make the horn work. I just have to work on it a bit more. And also, like, we have Nightbot doing some automatic stuff in the background, but then also other things that people have helped me so much in the background with, like recommending things, talking a bit about some other stuff like I can have. Recommending Nightbot in the first place was from somebody who popped into the chat because I had no idea about bots. I was really, really wary about bots because in my mind bots were a bad thing to have in your chat. Really early into me streaming, I thought bots were bad. The gal, oh my god! Thank you for the follow, it's very kind of you. But yeah, I thought bots were bad, and if I had them in my chat, that was a really bad thing. And yeah, so getting Nightbot felt like a bad thing. But yeah, no, so everyone who helped the last 7 months of just like even little things like that, being like, you know, you could maybe get that, or you could maybe do this, helping with the Discord as well, like maybe try this bot, maybe pop this in, maybe treat this, maybe fix this. Like all these little things have like made everything so much better that I would absolutely not have done on my own, or maybe not realize or not have known. Yeah, it's like made a huge difference. Oh dear. Now, oh, you look together, props to Jelly. These small steps will be climb off the mountain. Yeah, But like, this is the thing, it's like, a lot of it was people coming in and giving advice, and regardless of whether these people still chat or lurk or that, it's like made a huge difference on, I think, I come in and I feel more secure, and I'm also more happy about streaming, because it's like, yes, things work better now. That's just botters, not all bots are bad. I think I just had in my mind that I didn't want to have like a stream full of bots. Oh, hi, I hope you're having a good day. I'm just profiling bots, I'm so sorry. Also, Miss Oogie, hello, I'm so sorry. Right, the sound alert, it's meant to be automatic. I've not, it's meant to be. We found out today that it's not, but I'm going to get it to work. I'm so sorry. Right now, it's just a little bit more expensive and it doesn't work. I'm so sorry. If anyone wants to save their horn, I'm gonna fix it and make it work. We are now 1 for 2 though. One of the things I tried to make work yesterday works. It's just both of them. You know, it be like this. 50% is not bad. Oh dear. Mine. Oh no. How dare you, Miss Oki, I'm so sorry. Also, that bit's just being a little bit sticky, so I'm going to remove this. I am a lady. But yeah. She's got gal in your name. Oh dear. Oh, Miss Oki, thank you. Looking dash and hope you have a good Friday. Thank you. I mean, Fridays are normally a really good day. We have good days. I want to make a face mask after the stream as well. So it's going to be, I guess, a little bit of a busy day. Because I go to work tomorrow and I want to have half pink, half yellow face mask so I can go in and be like, yeah. But, I think that'd be cool. But then at the end of the day on Fridays, I always have Vampire the Masquerade, which is a tabletop RPG. So that's always a fun way of ending the streaming week and beginning my work weekend. This is good. Yeah, gone. I do the same thing. I call everyone man or mate. And yeah, it also gets like people are like, why are you calling me man? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I tried mate, but then because I also use mate as more of like a mate, come on, mate. So man's been more like man, so mate and man are more like my, like, what have you done? What have you done? Kind of thing. Like, I think you're being a bit silly. But yeah. I always forget that it could definitely be interpreted confusingly. But then so could mate, because it could also be like, but you just met me. You don't even know me. Why are you calling me mate? Oh, you have a very cool, interesting hair combo, yellow and pink. Very cool. Thank you. Yeah, before I was just pink. No, this is yellow. I was just pink. And I liked it. I did like just pink, but I don't think that I'm a just pink person. I don't think that's me. But the yellow is fun. I do like the yellow. Thank you. She changed very often. You'll be surprised. I do. To be fair, Gon, I was, again, it looked blue to you, but I was green. In my eyes, I was green. I was green for like a good 8 months. It was like a really long time for me, to be fair, but like I was green for a really long time. Because I was green since Christmas last year. Because I dyed my hair green for Christmas so I could become a tree. And then I had that until like, what? Yeah, it was like September or something, right? So I was green for a really long time. Yeah, I was green for a heckin' long time. Just heckin' green. I'm so glad I have a 3-day weekend. I've slept 7 hours combined over the last 3 nights. I think my dog has finally accepted the kitten. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. That is not, to be fair, I can see that being a really difficult introduction. But I'm glad. You know what, Jelly? I shall use mate from now on. You know what you're gonna get then is like, but I've only just met you. Or you'll get family members be like, why are you calling me mate? I'm your family. Excuse me. I love it. I do. Or you'll get your friends telling you, can you stop saying mate all the time? Because I've started saying mate now. And you know what? This wasn't something that I wanted to rub off on me. I'm not speaking from personal experience, but like, these are all things that have happened. Oh, damn, that's a long one. Enough sleep makes you fresh, but oversleep makes you sore. Yeah. It's not a lot of sleep, but I can kind of see why. Because, yeah, that's going to be a really tricky introduction. But 3 days is not too bad, I feel like. You know, it could have been a lot longer. Jason, hello! I'm happy as my tough course might be back on Monday and Tuesday! Heck yeah! I'm glad to hear it, Jason. Hope you're having a good day as well. I got a kitten sitter coming over so I get some exercise in, going 4 days out of work, but it's taking a toll on my sanity. Oh, friend. I'm sure you've been really busy. Oh, I want to say mate all the time. Oh, you're get through that. It's one of those things, right, where I don't know how much everyone else does it. I'm sure it's kind of person to person. When you spend a lot of time around someone, sometimes you pick up some of their vocabulary, right? For instance, bean. Sweet bean, I don't know who I picked that up from, but I know exactly who I picked up cool beans from. And it was someone that I lived with, and I already said sweet bean, but then I was not someone who used to be like, cool beans. Oh, that's cool beans. Awesome sauce, cool beans. But this person did, and you know, it was one of those things where I'd also say it in the same way that they said it, and it sounded so off to me for the longest time. And here I am, like 5 years later, and I still say it. I've taken their vocabulary. I've taken it. And I'm not quite so bad as some people. I know some people really do adapt other people's vocabulary a lot more. But oh, it's a feeling. It's when you start saying someone else's like words and you're like, no. This isn't what I wanted. Not that it's like I dislike it. It's just it doesn't feel like me. That's a bit better since it's slightly more neutral. Yeah, mate is. I think mate's kind of been the one go-to for me for a long time. Also, I generally use it in more of a like mate kind of way. So at that point, I probably already know you. If I know you enough to be mildly disappointed in you, I probably already know you. Also, I feel like that one, mate, kind of came from just like most of the people in my area said mate. So anyone saying mate was like... But then I suppose, yeah, internationally maybe it doesn't... I don't know. Very confusing. Which... Oh, fabric, come back to me. Yeah, sometimes work out is relaxing, but sometimes it's stressful. Oh, I feel like it's one of those things that afterwards it's good, but like sometimes during it's yeah. Technical Further Education is training centre in Australia. I had to take either the kitten or the dog into my home office. Imagine colleagues asking where the meowing is coming from, why someone's sniffing the microphone. Oh, bless you. Okay, yeah, that's a Oh. And you're still working, oh my god. I couldn't imagine, I couldn't. Like, try to still work and do all of that. I hope, yeah, 3 days, so that feels very good. So, congrats on that. Well done. Big well done. That feels very good in my eyes, at least. Oh dear. Also, I'm so sorry for all of the coughs this morning. For some reason, I don't know what it is. It be like this some days. Some days my coughs are just, they're just like this. Where, yeah, we just have a bad cough. And today isn't one of those days where my cough is just a little worse than usual. Apologies in advance. we got a couple of earlier streams coming up as well, so I'm hoping it doesn't affect me too bad. I'll try and wake up a little early for those days so I can try and get the cough out of the way, because the last thing I want to be doing is trying to talk about, I think it's both of the charity streams as well. The last thing I want to do is be trying to talk about the charity and then just be coughing constantly. But yeah, I'll try and wake up a bit early for those ones so that doesn't happen. Kitten is kneeling on my right and dog is on my left and we're chilling on the couch and you feel good. Oh my god. That sounds like a dream. That sounds like a dream. I'm doing automotive course this week. I hope to finish all my current work I have. That does sound pretty good. Yeah, I can understand why you'd want to get back in there. We don't need Jason. Wait, how about a pet crow? They're smart and they'll find gold rings for you. I'd like to get a couple of doggos one day, but not probably at the moment, because first of all we don't have a house for it. In fact, that's all of the all. We just don't have a house for it. Our house doesn't allow doggos. Otherwise, yes, I'd be all up for getting doggos. The main issue is just the house. Also, I think we're going to get the whole way through this, which is pretty impressive. This thread has lasted longer than I thought that it would. Not long enough to really do any of the costume itself, but definitely longer than I thought. Okay, I am actually not going to go through that last one because if you remember, that last one was where we had the issue. Oh, I left a couple of pins in as well. There we go. So I'm not using this right now, I just wanted to get the stitching in so I could take all the pins out. This will be some ruffles that we'll use in another part of the costume. It's already been ironed so all the pleats stay in. And yeah, we will use this eventually. There are two dactyls I feed. Oh, you hand feed me daily in the backyard? Whoa! What is it cool that you're doing right now? Okay, so right now, what we've done already, Emilia is the cosplay we're making from ReZero. We have made some pleats. So this was basically a tube, which we sew up the line, turned it inside out, which was like a tube, and we put in some pleats. They're very similar to box pleats, but on the back we haven't put them together. So if they were a true box pleat, these would meet in the middle. We haven't done that. So we've done it part of the way, but not the full way. It's more for the look than anything else. I just didn't want them to be true box pleats. I wanted them to have like a little bit further apart, just because if you look at the ruffles on her arms, they look a little bit more spaced. And then what I've done is pin them and iron them, kind of similar to box pleats, and sewn up one edge. The reason I'm happy to sew up one edge is because we're going to end up covering that edge with a piece of bias tape, so you won't even see the piece that I've sewn in the first place. And yeah, this will then be used as a trim. So basically what we've made is a trim. I'm making my own trim so I can match them all, so that I can match, for instance, the piece that's already on the bodice, which we've already used, to the bias tape that's going around the bottom of the skirt, and yeah, other bits and bobs. And I think in a costume that's as simple as this, where it's just white and purple, having everything matchy, kind of, yeah, for me it was something that I really wanted to do. It is not necessary by any means. You could absolutely go and buy trims and, you know, get them really, really close in colour. But I wanted this to match, for instance, as well, like the pieces on the sleeves, I wanted it to match that. And yeah, that was like that I'd rather spend the extra time making the trims and having them all match. But I am going to put this to one side because I do not need it currently. And I can put this over here. Right. Okay, I'm gonna go to big screen. Oh hi, how's it going? Because we're gonna be making patterns. So what I've done here is just pin this all on. So this is not attached to this. We already know that I don't have the thread to sew this piece on, so it's just pinned. Oh dear. Need your own vehicle. Oh. Also, yeah, Hisako, hi! Emilia doing an Emilia cosplay. Heck yes. So this part is all sewn together. So all the bodice is sewn together, but we haven't sewn the skirt to the bodice. And that's because the skirt's not finished. It still needs a couple layers added in here to kind of match the frilly parts that Emilia has on her skirt. So it's just pinned on for now so we can get an idea of the length of the skirt. And I've put my mannequin to the height of my shoulders. So it is at my height. This is how tall I am when I'm stood up. Pretty much. I mean, it might be like a few millimeters difference, but it's like close enough. Close enough. My current course is mostly servicing vehicles so I could become a mechanic, so 5 service my own car. Nice. I mean, that is pretty impressive, to be fair, jeez. Also, I've just put like some pins in this to like hold it in. It's not perfect, but it will do. It will do. It gives the vague outline. And we'll need this for doing the piece of the coat that goes over the front. And then we turn you around very, very carefully. And the back, as you can see, the back doesn't quite come together. This often happens, but then bear in mind we also don't have a zip in the back because the mannequin's waist is not the same as my waist. So my waist is just a little bit smaller. And because of that, this never quite comes together when it's matched on me, but that's okay. And also we have a lot of extra fabric on the skirt right now, just all of this. But we'll be using this sort of as like a base for the back. Also the back of the skirt does hang down quite a bit lower, and you can kind of see that here maybe. And that is just again because like this would be a little bit more further out. Hopefully you don't forget the pins before putting it on. It has happened many a time where there is just a rogue pin in the costume and you remember pretty quick. Can I put it? Yes! Give me a second, Bren. I will... You can put it... If you ever want to put it in the Discord, you can absolutely put it in the Discord as well, but let me just permit. Hang on. I want to see it. I want to see a jackdaw friend. So you're quite small then. I am not the tallest. I am technically average height for a lady in the UK, but just above it. I'm like 1 inch above the average height. I hold on to that. I hold on to my 1 inch above the average height. So I am 5'6", not 6'5". I'm 5'6". And other than that, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. Is this a bird? Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, Bob is so unhappy. It's because of the video. Oh no. Oh, he's so unhappy. Okay. I see it briefly. I've seen it briefly. Bob is the most unhappy. Oh dear. I said mate, I did. Oh dear. Jelly is small bean. I'm not the tallest bean, but I am above average height. So I hold that. Wilson. Well mate. Well, a few steps closer to the top of the mountain, right? Heck yeah. I need probably to start at the front. So the plan that we've got is to make the majority of the coat into 4 pattern pieces, which is 4 or 6 is what I'm not sure about. So I'm not sure if the square that goes across here is going to be a separate pattern piece to what happens up the side. Also, it is likely that this is going to cut here, which is actually going across the bust. So it will go across some of the work that we've done here. But that was always the plan. We wanted to go bigger than what we were actually going to do on this part because otherwise it would look like it was messy at the edges. Also, I need to get the fabric out that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using sheeting. Sheeting fabric. Where is my sheeting fabric? Sorry, I've moved all my fabrics to the other side. There we go. That is my sheeting fabric. Just need to find an apprenticeship training. Oh, traineeship where I can get set feet. Nice. Right. Oh, this is a bit of an intense song for this. Also, for the piece that goes across that part here, we want 2 of that piece because we want the piece that goes underneath and the piece that goes at the top, and that's going to be the piece that attaches the coat. I probably will use Velcro and just have it like, shoo. But yeah. This is my sheeting fabric. The sheeting is good because it's a little bit stiffer, but it is going to be see-through, so I will have to line it. Once I've got the piece that I'm happy with, I could do this with paper if I was looking to make a pattern, but I'll be honest, I think it very unlikely. Oh, Brenwyn, thank you for the follow. It's very kind of you. Welcome. I think it very unlikely that I am going to use this particular pattern for anything other than Emilia. It's very specific. If I bring the whole coat up, actually. So this is, it's basically like a tailcoat, but it cuts off around the bust. It's a little odd. It is definitely odd, and it ties around the neck, which is the other bit about it I personally am really not keen on. I am very tempted to have it so that it doesn't do that, because it's probably part of it that I most dislike. I really dislike that it ties around the neck. Yeah, not keen on that at all. Probably one of big boys, or maybe a Tesla. So you could build your own tanks. Yes. Oh, so Sammy, hello! How are you doing? Anime design at its best. Yeah, it's a... I like the design, don't get me wrong. I actually really like the design for Emilia. I think they've done a lot of really cool stuff. It's just for making it. Oh, Menina Bibi, thank you so much for the follow. It's very kind of you. That's a great, damn lucky you. Next food share that we receive some valuables in the cruise mines. Yeah, I'm more maybe leaning towards doing 2 singular straps that go over here, and then also possibly popping some straps underneath them that would maybe fold into those straps, so that I can also have straps in the dress. Just because I don't like strapless things. I don't like wearing strapless things. If I can have straps, I will always go for straps. So I'm making this. I might put straps underneath the straps. I'm good. Finished reversible galaxy. Yes! Finished reversible galaxy flame dragon plushie. Sammy, I don't know how you do this. For those who don't know, wait, I'm gonna just really quickly shout you out, Sammy, because for those who don't know, Dragoness Sammy has been literally posting so many cool things in the Discord. She's done Yoshi an egg, which is, but then also the cutest dragons. I don't know how you're doing it. I just don't. It is like somebody else posted a picture of being like, oh, they kind of remind me of this, and in like a professional one, right? Oh yeah, let me just permit you. But of like the most like of like a professional one, and like Sammy's look better. So there was like one that was made in like the 90s or something, but Sammy's look genuinely cuter, and it's like, I don't know what to say. I can't. So I would like to open it, Sammy. I actually opened a permit not that long ago, and I'm having to just let Bob cool off really briefly, so I might have to look at that in the Discord later, just because Bob is having a bit of a moment. And I don't want to ruin the stream or anything by making it crash. But I will look at it later, I promise. Yeah, it's just Bob's having a bit of a moment, but everyone else can see it at least. And I'm sure that it looks amazing. You'll post it later. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, this is the thing. Bob still doesn't like opening links. he's still very against it. But yes, right. I think I might do the 2 squares separately, and I think they'll work well as separate squares. So what I tend to do is cut a piece to around the size that I assume that I'm going to need if I'm doing it like this. Normally I would do it with paper, but because I just don't think I'm going to need a paper pattern, and I'm about to post a lot of things. I use packaging paper for my patterns often, and then I might draw them out on card again if I'm going to keep it for a long time, because if I do it on pattern paper, I rip it. I rip it immediately. So I will do it on packaging paper and then redo it onto like a really nice card and then fold it, which I know is not everyone's cup of tea for patterns, but that is what I do. Also, Kizura, I'm so sorry. The sound alert is not currently working, but I will fix it. But that is meant to be automatic. We're nearly there at an automatic horn. She's a great character for sure, though I rate more to Rem as a character, especially when I was younger, and also had a created love. Oh, bless you. So, my name's Emilia, and this is Emilia, and I want to be Emilia. Oh, you know, I like just jokes in cosplay, and I like having fun with it. And this for me is like funny, because someone will be like, "Oh, by the way, what's your name?" And I'll be like, "Emilia," and they're like, "No, what's your name?" "Emilia." And I live for this. I live for the stupid. It's my favorite. Oh, dearie me. Oh, and I also need to hydrate. I think Emilia Earhart, very cool person. I'm terrified of airplanes. Terrified! I could never. Was not Emilia Earhart in a previous life. Could not. Could not. That makes sense. That's fun. Really staying in character. Yeah, like, my god, this cosplayer will not break character. She just keeps telling everyone that she's Emilia. Yeah, my name's Emilia. So, guys, I'm Emilia. Right. So what I'm going to do is cut out a piece that is about the size that I think that I want. And this is going to look a little bit weird, but prepare for pinning. So this is going to be the square that probably goes across the middle. And it's going to go quite high. Probably to about there, I want to say. Because it needs to cover this little bit in the middle. Got to cover that. And bear in mind that I will need a seam allowance, so I could always fold the top piece over. So to pretend that there is in fact a seam allowance there, even though there is not a seam allowance there, just pretend that I've put one in. I'd rather have more than less anyway. And I think that I want it... So if I had done this like my bodice, you can kind of see where the line is at the bottom. There would be a line down here, and I think I want to do it on that line. Oh, but a little bit further because seam allowance. Good memory, me. Thank you, me. Oh dear. Then after the 10th question, you can sigh and be like, I'm jelly. I'm jelly. But really, I'm Emilia. Like, why won't you call me Emilia? Why will you not call me by my name? Who are you jelly of? The Mana Queen is dressed, Elsie! Yes, we. The bottom is covered. She descends. Elsie, I hope you're having a good day. Oh, I'm Emilia, as Emilia. Sometimes I'm jelly. Oh, God. The most confusing conversation. No one will want to talk to me. I love chatting with people, and I'm making the cosplay when no one's going to want to talk to me. I'm just going to be on my own all con, because people are going to be like, don't talk to her, she's a nightmare. Okay. And then how long do I want it? I do want it to be quite long, probably about to there. Thing is, hers is more rectangle. I have a long body, and I can't get that to be a rectangle, I don't think. Not if it hits the same part of my chest. How am I gonna make that a rectangle? Not unless it's like down here, and then it's like there's no skirt showing. So, I might just have to have it thinner over at the top, huh? Okay, that's fine. I want it to be a rectangle. I want my rectangle. So, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a rectangle. It just means that this bit's gonna be a little bit more difficult to do. That's okay. That's okay. Get in there. I should maybe not be so mean to my pins. They are pinning through like 2 bras. Oh dear. Oh, I'm a crafter. But my crafts require baking skills. You're a pastry artist. Oh my god. I said before, that's one of the few, like, okay, I think it's more icing stuff. I follow so many people that ice biscuits. I know that's like very oddly specific. I find it very relaxing watching people ice biscuits. It's so fiddly. I also love watching people bake in general because I like cooking, but baking is not really my cup of tea. It's a lot of measuring things and I just throw stuff in and I'm like, a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of this, which baking doesn't seem to work so well for. But oh, I love watching people make baking stuff. I think it's very relaxing. I don't think it's actually a rectangle. I think it's just the purple lines on it. Wait, really? You don't think it's a rectangle? But it looks so rectangular. Oh, that's my alert box. Alright. Excuse me 2 seconds while I inflate Emilia. Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it's not a rectangle. It looks like a rectangle. Oh, no, mate. It'll be a lot of fun. Have you measure your body before you pin it? I don't often measure my body. So quite often I'll use patterns that are based on duct tape patterns. And if I want something really tight, that's just been the best way for me to do it. Measurements are a bit of a nightmare. And I don't like traditional patterns very much because they'll be like, oh, your bust is a size this, your chest, and then your shoulders are a size this, and then your waist is a size this, and then your hips are a size this, and then you kind of have to work it out from the pattern. With a duct tape pattern, I can just, whatever part of the body I need a pattern for, I can just put cling film around it, duct tape that part of the body, and then cut out of it, and it's skin tight. It doesn't work so well for things that I don't necessarily want to be skin tight, but for skin tight stuff, yes. The actual shape is more complex. It does kind of look like maybe it goes in as well. God damn it, Emilia! Why is it like this? Oh, say Sunkoi, hello! I hope, sorry, I just need the desk. Hello, I hope you're having a good day. And question, Sleepy Waves. Hello, I hope you're having a lovely day. There's baking with tea as an ingredient, then it can be your cup of tea. So one of the things that I used to like growing up was cold tea cake, and like not tea cakes as in the ones that I think some people imagine with like marshmallows in them, but like cold tea cake where it's like cold tea and fruit and stuff like that, and it's like a loaf. Cold tea cake. And that was good. I like that. Is it a rectangle because the body's too straight? I think you just make a I think if I do this, it's still going to be kind of square, but it's going to be a little bit longer. And I think Samantha might be right in that, or Sammy even might be right in that it does look like it go in a bit, doesn't it? Bit of a weird shape. But I think if I did that, would it look a bit small compared to my bust? Maybe. Might be a bit overshadowed by the chest. First of all though, I am going to start trimming bits off. Because we know that it's probably not going to need to be too much longer than this. You know what though, actually? It's not perfect, but I've made it just a little bit bigger. I might look at trimming that down a little bit. Because that's just a little bit too large. But I actually quite like that as a size. And bearing in mind that this does have seam allowance on it, I don't know, I think it's good. I'm in grave need of coffee, but I'm not allowed to move due to the cat rules. Oh, maybe it's a little bit long now, actually. Okay, that's fine. So I'll take a little bit off the bottom. So I would normally not do this with the fabric itself. I would normally do this with not fabric, but that's cool. And I am just going to now, on one side I've actually got a really nice angle going. I'm going to do that angle on both sides. You know what as well, this might make my waist be looking quite nice. So let's do that. Why not? Why not? Doing a bit of an angle. Doing a bit of an angle. That sounds nice. Are you cat seat? I am indeed. Cat rules are most sacred. You're stuck then, yes. Kitten seat, your payment will be purrs. Oh, this has some seam allowance on it. That looks like a really good size. Yep. Okay. And now I just need to put it back in. In there. My phone is like, I have something to say about this. Oh, now phone. Trying to pin. It might be a little bit high up, but that's okay because we got seam allowance. And we can work it out later. It looks like I've just put like a poster over the middle of it. That's a nice poster right there. You can put so much writing on this poster. Oh dear. Michael, hello! I hope you're having a good day. Icing and frosting is also including my profession, however I usually let my part-timers take care of that. Younger chefs want to do it, so instead I make the harder stuff and let them do the boring cookies. Ah, that is fair enough. That is fair enough. Ah, dear. I'd be one of those people. I can't ice anything, to be quite honest. I really struggle with icing things. My hands are like very twitchy, and if I'm trying to focus on not twitching, that's when I'm gonna be like and start twitching things. But oh dear. Also Sai, hello. Emilia. I hope you're having a good day. And Blocker, hello. Welcome. I hope you're having a lovely day. We are pinning pattern pieces right now. I hope today finds you good. I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, I didn't realise that clearing out a longer occupied camp triggered a boss fight. I know. I had no health left. Managed to beat him though, nice. Oh, tell me all you know. Whenever a song comes up where I know the lyrics of it's like, tell me what you know. That's good. Good to hear it. We are currently going to go around. I've kind of now decided that it's going to be... Oh, I've forgotten the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pattern pieces. 6 pattern pieces. 6 is the number. 6 pattern pieces. So, because I wanted these to be a separate piece, I think just having the piece that goes around here is already going to be slightly complicated enough, because it goes around the bust. Having it attached to this is just going to make it 10 times worse, so I don't want to do that to myself. Oh, Blocker, thank you. I've already done it long enough, so it's better to let them have the experience before they move on to the harder cakes and pastries. Yeah, I could see that, Gal, being the case. Oh, yeah. I would be one of those people I love. You know, Gal, my favourite is pie. That's one of the few things that I do make. I make a lot of pie. I don't know if it's baking, if it's like a meat pie, but I make a lot of pie. We're actually having meat pie tonight. It's one of my favourites. I don't really make as many sweet pies. I like sweet pies, but I live with someone who doesn't like cooked fruit. So, yeah. But I really like pie. Ah, dear. Redeem a posture check. Sitting up straight. Thank you so much, Gon. Also, God, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Meat pies are good. I love a good. It's like one of them, like you have a nice family recipe and you're just like, it's a good recipe. I like this one. Right. Let's have a look-see. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult also because pinning with big piece of fabric. I'm keeping it doubled up in size also because I want 2 pieces of each. I'm not going to be lining it likely with the same fabric. I might see if I can line it with something a bit different just to jazz it up a bit. But I will want one for the other side too. That's my reasoning there. How high do I need this? I likely will want it to about show me what you know. Show me what you know. Getting too distracted. Shoot! What I'm gonna do... Ooh! Interesting. Right, so what I'm gonna do is start pinning it on. And I might draw onto this too about the shape that I want, because I have a feeling that this is actually going to work really well, because I can kind of put this into here, which works really well for me with seam allowance. And oh, the luck of this. Because as you can kind of see, it also then curls around the side really nicely. But I'm not going to go too much further than this because then I'll be going into the back piece. This is kind of to cover the side. This piece. Yes. Also a sound alert! Blocker, I'm so sorry. The sound alerts are not working today. I tried to set it up yesterday so that they'd be automatic and I thought that I had it. But I've learnt today that I have not got it. So I'm going to try and get this to work for tomorrow. Not, well, for the next stream, which will be on Monday, I suppose. But I was trying to get it working over the weekend, so I'm so sorry. They're just more expensive at the moment, and I'm very sorry. Doesn't like cooked fruit. That is so weirdly specific. I don't like cooked veggies. Yeah, this is the thing. I do know a lot of people that don't like. I also know some people. One of the ones I've come across a lot is people that don't like milk that's been like hot milk and things. So, which, you know, it's like, well, okay, you don't like hot milk, but then it's like you don't like tea if it's got milk in it, and like coffee if it's got milk in it because it's got hot milk in it. And like that sounds weirdly specific, and I always thought it was weirdly specific, but then I've met like 5 or 6 people that are all the same, and I'm like, oh. And I think it's the idea of there being hot milk in a drink. They really don't like it. And I don't know, something about it. It confuses me. How high you see? People are different. Yeah. How high will you see pink elephants? I see. I'm good with cooked veggies and foods. I like food. Food's good. I'm not keen on mushrooms. I'll eat them because I like food. I'm a hungry person, but I don't like them. They're not my favourite thing. I'm also, you know, there are foods that I prefer to others. Like, I'm not super keen on large amounts of beetroot. I'll eat small amounts of beetroot, but when the beetroot gets a bit ridiculous, I'm not keen on that. I think the arm thing is separate. Jelly, stop apologise. If you're good, no worries. Okay, thank you, God. The hot tea coffee with cold milk. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like when it gets into the tea, it's just like, no, because now the milk is hot. But like, and originally I thought that was very odd, right? But to me, it is something that confuses me. But I've met so many people that have that same feeling, where they just, yeah, they really don't like that, and it's like, oh, huh. I mean, fair enough. If it's something that you really don't like, that's not. No, I'm not here to change your mind. You don't have to like it. But I might end up having to put a dart into this. I'm not sure, because I am able to grab a hefty amount of fabric for the boob. Do I want to put a dart in? Do I want to do dart? Yeah. I think the smart here is going to be to do dart. It would be smart, in fact, to do dart. Which is what will then go onto there. It's because there's a curve there, and if I don't acknowledge a curve... Oh, Modexy, thank you for the follow, it's very kind of you. I will show you, by the way, everyone, this in a second. I'm just going to put a couple pins in it first, so that it doesn't move. So it's puckering a bit because there's 2 bras underneath this, so it's a bit squidgy. But yeah, I think that's going to be important, because otherwise what's going to happen is this isn't going to be shaped well to a bod, and this needs to go on a bod. So what I'll then probably do is cut the line of this right down here. So let's put one in here, because it's unlikely that I'll have to worry too much about curves past this point. And then I can have my one strong curve and not have to worry too much about the other curves. Yes. Ah, are you really hungry to eat mushrooms? Just nope. I think because I eat them a lot when like someone else buys a pizza and then there's mushrooms on it, and it's like, I'll eat that. And it's like in a fry up or something, and it's like, I'll eat it. It's just not my favourite. At the shop we have pies as well. They're in our standard assortment. However, my speciality is wedding and birthday cakes. And now before Christmas, we always get a lot of Christmas cakes. Orders filled until Christmas Eve. I mean, actually, thinking about it, this doesn't surprise me, because yeah, if I was someone who would order that for Christmas, I would have ordered it already. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I'm glad to hear it's doing well though, and that people are ordering all of that for Christmas. Because it is kind of a weird year. But oh, congratulations. I'm glad. Okay. That is gonna, sorry, there's a lot of weird pins in this, and because it's all white, I'm not sure how well this shows up. But the dart that we've got here, that's for the bust. The rest of this can actually fall pretty flat, but what we're going to be looking for is we're going to have a diagonal at the bottom, which is going to be leading into the tailcoat, which is going to go over the hips. Is the plan. This is the plan. The first time attending a Sunday roast birthday, I thought they had fried mushroom, turned out as parsnip. Can't say I'm a fan. Okay, so parsnip is one of my favourites, but I want it to be cooked nicely. So I've had some bad parsnip, and you know, everyone likes their vegetables differently, and this is fair enough. But undercooked parsnip is one of my least favourite things, but well-cooked parsnip, oh. It's like crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. I'm like, oh, it's like a vegetable chip. It's like a chip that isn't a potato. I love it. I love it. I mean, I don't like milk warm and other things, but to drink warm milk, that's just a big ew. I don't like warm milk and other things. Words are hard. Yeah, it's cool. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I actually, I think I've mentioned this before. When I was younger, and like quite young, I say quite young. This like a young bean. I wanted to drink cups of tea, right? But like, I didn't like tea. There was a time where, in fact, I didn't like tea, but I wanted to feel included when everyone was having their tea in the afternoon. And so I'd just have a cup of milk, and everyone would call it tea, so that I felt included. And yeah, that happened for quite a while, where it's just like, I want to feel included. I don't like your cups of tea. Can you call my milk tea, please? And yeah, so yeah. For quite a while we had like just like in a mug, but like yeah, tea, but it was just milk. And then if I went around anyone else and I was like, can I have a cup of tea please, and they gave me tea, I'd be like, excuse me, what is this? Where is my milk? But like I wasn't like 3 or 4, I'd be like 8. Because we're calling daily and I have to tell them that we're full. We can't get one for the new. Oh wait, but they can get one for the New Year's though. Nice. There is in fact cake on the horizons. Right, how low do I want to go? Where's my hip? I think my hip is going to be about here. I probably want to go to about here. Yeah, I just wanted to feel included. I want a cup of tea too. Because there is such a like... I know every family is different, and there's going to be a lot of families in the UK that don't drink tea. But my family was a family that drank tea quite regularly. I wanted to be part of that, so I was like, I also want to drink tea regularly, but I don't like tea. So, yeah, so this is how I am included, please. Actually, I could probably use the bottom of the mannequin as a... yeah, actually that's probably going to work a little bit better. because if I look at her, yeah, basically her whole skirt is covered. So let's use the base of the mannequin as a guide. We want to go quite low here. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do now, first of all, cut this, again, with some seam allowance. And that will be the piece that goes there. I am going to draw a little bit on the bust because this is a little bit, it needs to be more like, kind of like straight down here and more, so I will cut that out afterwards, but I will put a pin through it so I know to cut it out afterwards. And I will also put a pin through here, but I know that that is there. And that is the dart that I am talking about. In case, yeah, because I'm not really making that clear actually thinking about it. The dart needs to have some pins through it just so that it's really clear that it's there. So that's kind of how I'm leaving that before I start cutting it out. So I've got a really faint line there, which I'm going to cut out to make that more curved. And then I'm going to cut down this line, and I'm probably going to cut a little bit lower than this actually, but I'm going to cut down this line. I'm going to cut over the dart, which is going to be a little bit tough. I might go in and just see if I can, nah, it's not going to let me, that's okay. Well, that's a shot. I also don't need this in there anymore, so I'm going to just down. It's just with the dart where it is, it might be a little difficult to get a good cut on it. It won't make a massive difference, but you know, I don't want it to look terrible. And now I'm just going to take it down to here. Oh, bit far out. That's okay. Seam allowance, but not that much. And I want it to go quite close to where the skirt is. Skirt is just a bit lower, so I'm going to go just to take it just a little bit lower. And what I'm actually going to do here is leave quite a large amount of space between these two pieces. So rather than cutting it like inwards at an indent or anything like that, I'm going to cut it out, almost outwards at an indent. And I might change that later once we have the next piece. So we can kind of style it a bit. There we go. Okay, and then with this bit, it just needs a little bit of styling at the top because it is just a little bit tall. I'll just do that now. So it's a little bit tall at the top, just a tiny bit. Like right now, it's gonna probably chafe under my arm a little bit. Not a whole lot, just a tiny bit. There we go. And I will pin all this back on in a second, but I need to trim some of these pieces first. There we go. So, this is a piece in fact that we have done. And what I'll be doing is just quickly trimming the top piece, which is the bit that might have chafed under my arm. I'm still leaving it with plenty of seam allowance, it's just not that much. And then this part is getting a whole size, like shape change, which is the piece around the bust. Okay, so it's a lot rounder there. And I'm just going to look at these darts and make sure that they are really, really nice. Yeah. Do that then. Get them back on. So you can kind of see the shape there. This will all, bear in mind, be actually a little bit lower. It will be actually more like this, but because of the sleeve allowance we put on, it's a little bit higher. This is actually going to be lower like this, but we've got it up here for now. And yeah, and say yeah, and yeah. Oh, come on. And what I've done at the piece here is I've sort of taken it down to where the bottom of the skirt is, which I think is actually probably better because, yeah, that's kind of more like what she has. Originally I was going to take it higher, and I don't think that would have bitten me, and I'd rather take it to there and fix that later on. And let's do this. Let's start in there. And other than that, this all looks pretty good. I'm just going to put this piece. I have to kind of pin it somewhere, but I guess just putting it low down. And maybe there. Yeah, that'll do. It's a bit weird, but it'll do. When it comes to sewing on textiles, is it generally to cut them a bit larger first before you adjust them? Yeah. Yeah. Also, they're all going to need to have like a seam on them, so having them larger is good anyway because I would need to sew them down. I mean, I would normally not do it like this. Normally I would make them out of paper first, but I'm pretty confident. I'm kind of a, what do we call it, impulsive sewer, in that I'm just like, you know, I'm pretty confident that even if it goes wrong, I can fix it. But I think this is not too complicated as far as the amount of pieces go. The dress underneath was much more complicated, and we used a pattern for that, in my mind. And yeah, I'd rather go slightly big and sew it down, or use a pattern that I've already used before, so like make a mock-up of it first and then make my adjustments on the mock-up and then use that adjusted mock-up on my last fabric, which, yeah, that's like the proper way of doing it. Oh damn, I did a tools test and nearly got all of them wrong. Oh Jason, sorry to hear that. Right. I mean, sometimes it do be like that, but hopefully next time. Okay. Let's try with this piece next. I'm gonna try and do this one if I can, down the fold. I don't think I need too much. I don't really need any curve down the back is what I'm thinking. So I'm hoping that I can do that. Ooh, mannequin. Hold, please. Put that there, put that there. And then of course we have to join it up to where we've just done. And one there. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I'm thinking I'd like to do it down like this because I think it will. I don't know. I think it'll look kind of nice if I can get it right. Having that nice clean line. And I'm not sure how easy it will be, but nice idea. Let's see. Okay, so this piece is now the piece that's going to start coming out. So I'm not going to pin it now because this piece is meant to be big. Let's move you forward a bit and let's see. So what we kind of want is two really large pieces that are going to be a bit of a weird shape. I guess I can keep pinning it around this side actually. There, okay. I'll probably put it down that side, just to be safe. And there should be another one just in there. Okay. So I should probably pin this bit. And then the rest of this kind of just goes woof! So I don't really need to pin it too tight. The mechanics though, having just machinery is hard, yeah. I mean, mechanics, from the sounds of it, proper tough. You'll get there, you get it. I mean, from the sounds of it, Jason, you've been doing like phenomenal so far. With how far that you've gotten. Okay. Right. Oh, I immediately pulled the pin out. God damn it, me! Why are you doing this? Come on. Okay. Right, that should get it to the same length. Okay, cool. And now... Okay. Okay. I'm going to just really quickly cut this piece off actually, because this is going to be... Right, it's only going to get in the way. Ooh. And... Sorry. I get very distracted by the music sometimes. How long do I want this to be? Good questions. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest.
Take it from me, I've learned my lesson. She gave everything, she was such a blessing, but from day to day, she would change her ways. Give me her love, then she take it away.
I think I do want it pretty long though. I want it quite impressive. I do want it quite impressive though. Yeah, I've had a similar thought process of breaking as well. It's easier to reduce than to add. It will do both, but when you piece it together it makes sense, but also nice to have some leftovers that way. Yeah! Goody, what you made that ruining it? Heck yes. For sure, for sure. Oh, that's got to be one of the best things, right? Eating the leftovers. For sure. Oh, and then again I might just be thinking with my stomach, the best bit is eating. Okay, I'm going to say that maybe this is going to be a good length because this is quite long. And I don't think hers goes... Oh, I need to minimize Emilia. Minimize Emilia, right, whoop, whoop. Okay. Oh yeah, hers doesn't really go past her knees. This is probably going to be too long, but I want long. Okay, picture. This is gonna be too long. What I've done here is folded it over to get a rough shape. And we're just gonna see if that works. Ooh. Because we want them to be very, very symmetrical ideally. But then I say that as I have caught it, unfortunately. I'm gonna fix that real quick. It's a small thing, but it's like, ah, that's gonna annoy me to see them hanging like that. Why am I like this? Okay, let's just... fix that. I guess this is why you cut extra, huh? So that when you make the stick like this, there we go, that's better. Okay, so I didn't have it fully straight. Okay, that makes sense as to why it was doing that. Is it fully straight now? There we go. There we go. Yes. Although it took a minute. Big pin. Okay, what I think is maybe pin it while it's on this side. Because there, that's better. It's pulling a little bit weirdly when I flip it over, and that's when I'm cutting it, so I think that was making it a bit I do this. Okay, I think I got it. But I probably want to make it just a little bit smaller because of that slight oversight. I've lost like an inch, which is a shame. Goodbye, inch! And then if I take all of these out, hopefully... Now, is it really wide? It might be too wide. I might have to thin that out a bit. Don't mind, that's gonna go here. That's too wide? The length is fine, to be honest, actually. Because this is my height, that's probably gonna hit just below my knee, but that does look a little bit wide in my mind. I think I want it a bit thinner, huh? Also, having leftover cake is a good bribe for co-workers. I can see that being the case. You could bribe me with food. I'm very easy to bribe with food. I think that is too wide. Okay, what I'll do then is, I think it's probably going to be easy to alter with this knot on the mannequin now that we've got the length good. So, let's remove the rest of the fabric since this is the last pattern piece. Excuse me. I think this needs to be just thinned out a little bit. It's not bad, but it's not quite where I want it. So I'm gonna follow what I've already done because the reason I've already done it is probably because of what it looks like on the mannequin. So probably good to fit that. Right. Let's see. How can I thin it out? I guess it's got this interesting wobble there, but that might be because of the mannequin. So let's do that. That wasn't very much taken off, actually. I don't know if this is enough. I'm not taking any off the end, I'm just taking it off slowly from the sides. It still looks quite wide. But I guess it's got seam allowance on it, huh? So, you know what? That might be okay. And then that's gonna go across the back. Yeah, you know what? That might be okay. And then I will need to recut this out of all of the linings. I could do that. And then what I kind of want to do is pin it to this and have a little look at how they look together. I think, yeah. So these look a little bit weird. I think what needs to happen is, with the one that's underneath, it needs to be more like this. Okay, that's cool. We can fix it. So basically, the piece that goes into that back piece, it needs to be more of an arch rather than like what it was. So I need to cut off a piece like this. Kind of like a liver shaped piece. To make it look like it fits that last piece. But you know what? That means we have more of the skirt on show, so I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. And then if I pin this on here, and this one here, so they don't sit quite so flat. Yeah. Yes! Okay. I don't have anything to pin it to on the other side, unfortunately, so it's just a bit like, nothing to pin it to, but I'll pin it anyway. It does, oh, shorten my mannequin, sorry. Oh well. It fits well into the shot there. I mean, yeah. I feel like that's a pretty good shape for the coat. I would need them kind of far out to the sides because otherwise you won't be able to see them with my legs. So I'm kind of okay with that. I think it looks pretty cute. I will still need patterns for the arms though. The fun thing that keeps happening is when I hire a girl for the shop, they're usually small and so in a few months they end up chubby. The cake! I feel that. Oh, dear. I don't know if I want to make the sleeve patterns now though, because I might see if I can find, this is why I say about like making patterns before, I might see if I can find the patterns that I made for my Celeste sleeves. I made these really big sleeves for Celeste, and they're very similar in shape to the Emilia sleeves. The Emilia sleeves are going to need a little bit more work at the end, in like a slightly different way. Like the Celeste had some work in the end as well, but it's slightly different. I think I might see if I can find that pattern, because using a pattern that's already worked before is normally like the best way to go as far as using patterns goes, because you know it's going to fit you, you know it's going to work. Generally the best way to go. So I think rather than do the arms right now, I probably will end up doing that. I might just start sewing these pieces together. Like, why not? Wait! Commander Vicky! Oh my god, hello! Welcome! We're just about to sew some pieces together. We've just actually made a pattern. Hi! How are you guys doing? Oh, anyone who doesn't know Vicky, Vicky is a sweet heckin' bean! Oh my god! Stormek, hi! And Aussie Pants, hello! Oh my god, how was your stream? Did you have a good one? We've just made a pattern for a coat, so actually, oh my god, I've just started unpinning it. I'll show you the back of it at least. So this is the coat for Emilia. We've just pinned it onto the mannequin and made a pattern from that. Got a big old back. I've just started unpinning it because we're going to start sewing the pieces together. And Latte, hello! Yeah, so on Monday I dyed my hair and luckily it seems to be staying. So now we are, what do we call it? A drumstick candy. Yes. Vicky carried us in game. Heck yes, that sounds like a good stream. If you're the streamer and you're carrying, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's a good dress. Thank you. So far the skirt isn't attached to the bodice because the skirt needs a little bit more work. But we've got it all on so that when we pin the coat in, we can kind of see what we're working with. Oh, Nebula of Cats, thank you for the host. That's very kind of you. Why is it my spooky host? Wait a minute. This happened last time. I did change that this morning. Heckin. This time. Oh my god, there's another spooky host. I'm so sorry. I will see that. Is that Latte? Latte, thank you so much. Oh, I actually changed that this morning and it says I've changed it. Why is it? Why? Wait, let me see if I can just update it. I'm so sorry. I did in fact, it should be this. Well. I finished my workout but now I need to help my mum. That's alright, Aussie Pants. Good luck. I hope that it goes well. Bye. Yeah, need to run. Wish you all a great stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Good luck with the rest of your day, Stormek and Aussie Pants. Lovely cats, all good. Thank you, Nikita. I'm sorry that you got the spooky alert sound. I don't know why that happened. I couldn't give you a reason, but I'm sorry. Yeah, and Lovely, thank you for the host as well. Right, this is our piece with the darts. This is our middly piece. I'm gonna change my camera so you can see. Oop. Yeah, piece with the darts, piece in the middle. I'll come back to the bit at the back because I'll sew these bits first. I always try to start with darts anyway. So what I'm gonna do actually is I had a pencil, but I don't know where I've put it. Where have I put my pencil? Oh dear, here we go again. I've put it somewhere. Damn it, me. Why are we like this? Oh well, it's fine. I can get another pencil. It's just I don't want to. Happy Friday, Foxy Dead! Thank you so much! I hope you're also having a happy Friday. I don't know if anyone knows what, watched me put my pencil anyway. It's okay, I've got another one. I'm gonna get surprised by that later. So what I'm gonna do is, for now, I'm just going to mark where I've got my dots, very, very briefly at the edge. Do not worry, this will in fact not show up anywhere. It's just so that I am aware of where my dots are, so that these are the fabrics that fold, these are the bits that pinch together, and then it goes to about, if I do it on the inside, it goes to about here, and on the other side, it goes to the same spot. It's so that I can work out the dart once I unpin it really quickly, because right now it's two pieces of fabrics pinned together, and I will need to remove that. So I will make sure that I keep that piece on the inside, but yeah, I will need to redo this dart in a second, and I don't want to draw the whole dart out, because with the fabric being as thin as it is, that might show through. And that's not really super good for me. So, what I've got is then those two marks that I made, and I line them up like that. And then I've got my mark at the end, which is what I aim them towards. Oh dear. Need to return to the shop. He usually gets busy around lunch. Thank you so much for popping by, Gal. I hope that it goes well. Excuse me. And that your lunch rush is busy, but manageable. I wonder if this one wants to go the other way. Does this want to go the other way? Is that what you're asking for? No. No, you are definitely asking to be this way around. I'm not silly. It's just a bit difficult. There we go. We gotcha. There, that's there. And I think I'll have it folded. And we only want it to about here, because that should mean that the point will end at that spot, hopefully, that I had. Thereabouts. It's close. When I sew it, I will try and get it to that point, but I cannot promise. I'll try. And then on the other side, oh, it's not easy, but we got there. I just woke up and having my tea. Lovely. That's a good way of waking up. Oh, we have been pinning for a while, so it's nice to do some sewing, to be quite honest. But then I think it's always like that after pinning for a while. It's like, honestly, it's just nice to do some sewing. It's just nice. Oh dear. Taki, hi, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Welcome. We are going to be doing some sewing. We actually just been pinning for ages. We made a pattern, and we're now sewing that pattern together. I hope you're having a good day. And Sken, hi, how are you doing? Welcome. Oh. Very me. And again, just do one that's much lower down, and hopefully they look pretty even. We don't want one side to be bigger than the other. But it shouldn't be, because we should have lined up those dots. I think actually this one maybe needs to go just a little further down. Get those dots lined up. But yeah, other than that, this is looking pretty good. And that will be both sides then of the chest. And then we'll have one square to sew onto each side. Drink your goddamn tea! Sigh. I'm going for it. It's cold. Thank you, Sken. So right now the bodice is not attached to the skirt. The skirt has just been pinned on so that we can pin on the coat and start to get a idea of like the size of the coat and stuff like that. It helps give an idea of the height of the dress. We still actually want to add a couple of sections onto the skirt, so it's not quite finished yet. The dress is not quite finished. It's got a couple of extra pieces to put on it. But thank you. Yeah, it's definitely like layered up quite nicely. I really like it. It's very cute. It's ended up very like cutesy, with all the frills and everything like that. But I do like it. Right. Oh. Let's get the purple out. We don't really have any purple on top to talk about. And then get some white in there so we can put all of this together. Yeah, as you can see, this is why we can't really do the rest of the skirt. It's because we just do not have enough purple to keep adding the details on. We will run out of purple and then it's like we'd have a very, very short stream and that's no good. So, time to do other things. It's because the next step on the skirt is bias tape and that's purple, so it does kind of limit me a little bit. It's cool, because I can get that tomorrow. And then yeah, we can keep moving with that. But it's not like there aren't other things I can do in the meantime. Like I've got a whole coat to make for sure. Although the coat is quite simple in comparison. But I want to sew this piece together to make sure that it fits. Fingers crossed that it does. One and good. Okay. So they're quite big darts, these ones. I think probably some of the biggest darts we've done. But that's okay. They're gonna probably look like they go the whole way across from where we start to where we finish once we put the edging in, but that's fine. That's fine. That's all good. And then what I just need to do is trim that bit. And then on this side do the same thing, just because this sticks out just a little bit now that we've sewn this in. Okay. Got nice and smooth. Thank you. And let's start looking at putting these in. So, we are going to need... Oh, actually, the bigger bit was at the top, wasn't it? Yes, the bigger bit was at the top. You need to remember that. And then if this all fits good, we will remake this in a lining, but I will do any alterations on this first. Because the last thing I want to do is cut it out of a lining, find out that it doesn't fit, and then have to redo it out of both of them. That's a real pain. I'm not really up for that. So, and on this side, that's good, and then this is going on this side. Good. Yes, and we now also have it, as you've probably noticed, Nightbot now tells us, or tells me and tells everyone in chat, what the next biggest stream is happening, like the next big stream happening is. It's just nice. I know maybe not everyone is going to be a big fan of it, but I like it. Because it takes the pressure off me having to say it. Because I am terrible with that sort of thing. I'm incredibly forgetful. And the amount of people have been like, oh, I missed it because I didn't realise it was happening, or I forgot because I forgot to tell you, and it's nice. And it was actually not that difficult to set up, so I feel kind of bad that I didn't set it up before. I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated than it was, and it was not. So we have that now. I'm going to keep that updated with whatever the next big stream is, so I won't keep it up with like sewing streams or gaming streams because we do those pretty frequently. But like for charity streams or for more unique streams, I'll pop that in there for the next big one. Matrix, hello! I hope you're having a good day. Welcome. And especially in months like December, where we have like 4 more interesting or unique streams, hopefully that'll keep people updated on what the next one is. There we go. Those are the front pieces. And that should hopefully, I mean it's got a little bit of space there, but that should fit well across the bust. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. Sorry, I realise you can't really see it, but I can see it. Oh dear. And then we need the back piece. Let's grab that off. Big piece of fluff on there. So, let's have a look-see. Okay, so this piece goes onto this side. I might end up having to put a couple of darts into this, I think. Just kind of like shirt darts. I get the feeling. I get a feeling that I might have to do that. So like shirt darts, sometimes you'll have a couple of like almost very long diamonds in the back. To help with curves. I might feel like I have to do that. It's not too bad. Right, that's the top, so it is just this piece. Got it. Okay. We got this. Let's smooth this out. Backwards just a little bit while I'm pinning. But we'll see how it looks first. The diamonds were just basically to be that it would cling to my back a little bit more. Right now I feel like it might stand away from my back. It's just a guess. It's just a guess. Also, Darksider, we can have a hydrate. Oh, it's not a horn. It's a hydrate. We can have a hydrate. I see H and I'm like, horn! Nah, hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate, Darksider. Oh dear. But yeah, I get the feeling it's going to stand away from my back just a little bit more than I want it to. Which is fine. It's quite an easy one to fix. We'll put a couple diamonds in the back if that happens, but I'd rather not go straight in for it in case it doesn't happen. Because the less darts in it, the more clean I think it'll end up looking. Right. Get this piece. And go. Right, let's get that on. And then it will just be one last piece. The coat is really simple, to be quite honest. This is why I was like, I'm really not too worried about the coat as far as like as much time as it's gonna take. Like yes, there's a lot of edge pieces and like trim and stuff like that, but it's comparatively to, for instance, the bust of the dress, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. It'll need a lining and I think that, yeah, and then some bias tape around the edges. Not too much more fuss than that. Some straps. I like this coat, it's simple. And because I don't have to fuss around the arms at all really, because the most difficult part of making arms is this piece, and that's not attached on this coat, so yeah, I don't really have to worry about any of that. So in that regard, it's a really, really simple coat. Go. Nice. That should go up nicely, and then we just have to do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna try and sew the dart upwards on this as well. So I pinned it upwards the other time. I'm gonna pin it upwards again. I don't know if upwards is the right way to go, but I did it before. I shall do it again.
1 year later, more better and more clever. Love for games is like diamonds, go on forever. Skipping and hopping it, my knowledge going and dropping it. It auto shift my soul, so I will never be stopping it. I slow it down so y'all can hear me turtle beaches. Dedicating this song to the gaming girls, my princess speeches. Girls with all the features, smarter than all the teachers.
Yeah, let's go up again.
We can create some gifted creatures. I love all you ladies and I want my second player. In which planer will I find a girl who kills and sees slayer? That won't give me snake eyes if I'm holding eyes. I hold the temple down with the wrong date.
Now I'm thinking that might make it a bit... Oh, fine. It might make it look a little bit odd, but that normally I do the darts facing down, but I think it's okay. Oh, Darksider, thank you. That's very kind of you. This one is really not super complicated, I promise, and like, if there are a lot of issues with this, we're doing it really, like, basic right now so that we can unpick it and fix it, because I haven't used a pattern, like a paper pattern, and I am sort of just kind of winging it. But it's not super complicated, this one. They're definitely, like, coats are one of the more difficult things to make if you're following a normal pattern, and this one is not. This one is not a complicated coat, thankfully. I guess, yeah, if you don't sew, you'll just have to take my word for it, but if you do sew, you'll see. It doesn't have any of the arm bits that are horrible. All the horrible army bits around here, you didn't have to worry about. And, like, all the collars and stuff like that. It's got none of that. So, it really is, like, a very simplified version of the coat to make. Oh dear. Also, Mac, hello! Also, Skin, I'm so sorry. I haven't managed to set it up correctly so that the automatic horn works just yet, but we are, I think, just one step away because I thought it was going to work today and it didn't, but hopefully we'll get that fixed over the weekend. I'm so sorry, but I will play your horn for you. Right. Okay, this is why I wore like a tank top underneath this today, was so that I could basically just pop this and see if it fits. Normally I don't think ahead to this point, but I'm not gonna stand up too much because it is just the top bit that I'm really worried about. The bottom bit I can worry about like later. The top bit I can pin to here. How do I feel about this? It's okay. The back is definitely, I think, a little bit letting me down here. A little bit. But the size is good. The size is really good. I can feel some gapping is what I'm wondering about. But the size feels good. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, so I'm going to put it on the, what do you call it, screen? I go on just face cam. And like this. It's all on white, so I apologise about that. It was the only tank top I could find. But these pieces do line up, and these pieces do go at the part of the bust that I would want without it pulling. And it does leave a window of bust that I want it to leave. I think it should be okay. My only concerns right now are that this is a little bit loose. So you can see this here. This is a little bit much, and I'm sitting down and I'm wearing jeans. Like, this is quite loose. But it is, I don't know, it's the right sort of shape. And I feel like it's not far off. My concern then is the back. But I could definitely take it in a bit with the back by adding a couple of extra darts in. The top is good. The top is a really good tightness. There's nothing wrong there. It's just, there's a bit in the back here where it's like, it's before it goes out, but it's like got a lot of extra fabric there. think that's where I'm being let down a little bit. Okay, that's okay. We can fix that. That sort of thing I can fix. And I don't think it's around the front that I need it fixing. I think it is probably the back that I'm going to give it a go at fixing it. This is definitely not the most accurate way of testing it, by the way, but like, that is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to test it. I think the length is probably going to be fine. Regardless of the length, I'd be happy with it. Let's go back to here. So, it's just a little bit loose around my waist. I mean, the thing is, again, I did pin it to the mannequin, which is bigger around the waist than I am. So that could also be what's causing that. But the waist is too big. The top is good, here is good, bust is good, waist is too big. So what I'll do is I'll put a couple of darts in that are around here, I think. Hopefully that should cinch it in just a little bit. Also, Pip-Boy, hi, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Welcome. Also, I can still see a really strong line here, which helps because that's definitely the center line. That line there, that's the center. So I can just sort of do them off of that. If I choose where I want the center of the dart to be, for instance, if I want it to be here, I can just be like, yeah, this is a good place for a dart. And then do another one the other side. And like this. And then I just have to go down and make them thinner at the bottom. We do want them to be quite short darts because the waist on this is not very long. Even though my waist is long, the waist on the dress is not very long. We talked about this before, that we made it quite short to make my waist look shorter to suit the character, but yeah, because of that, this now needs to be quite short. That's okay. And really short on this side, like that. Okay, and then we just do it matching on the other side. It's really, really short up here. And I think, oh, yup. Oh, did it not go through the other side? God damn it. Come on, come on. There we go, there we go. And just match it on the other side. And then I'll sew those in, and that should just take a little bit extra. Not off the top, but off, like, I guess the waist. I might just also make it a little taller in the middle. That's really where I need that extra assistance. Okay, and then the bust should still be fine. The bottom won't be affected, it is just going to be the waist that I'm trying to take some of that off of. Cool. Okay, let's do that. And then what I might do is pin it back onto the mannequin. Or I could just stand up and try it on. It's just if I stand up, you won't be able to see it. But I guess I can tell you. I can tell you what I think. Like, I think good, I think it needs more work. This is why it's like, I'm kind of saving for a whatchamacallit, a PC, is because then I can eventually get a standing camera set up. But I don't think this setup would manage it, because it barely managed adding a microphone, so probably adding anything else isn't that cool. But that'd be cool, because then I could show you this sort of stuff. Not that it happens super regularly, but on the odd occasion. And let's go around this one. And bring it back. Okay. Cool. So that now has added 2 darts there in the back. That's what those are. 2 extra darts. And right, I'll go invisible again, I'm sorry. Also, Hasha, hello, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. I'm just going to try this on really quickly. And I just take my headset off so that I don't get caught in that. Don't worry, I'm going to keep my tank top on and everything. I just don't think you're going to be able to see it because I'm going to be stood up. And unfortunately, when I stand up, I feel like you can't really see me. But that's okay. If I try it on, I mean like drape it over me. Just to see if it fits. A little better than it did before. This is, by the way, the coat, which is going to be going in here and then attaching around the waist. We kind of had it, but there we go. It didn't fit well around the bust. But, not the bust, the waist. It fit fine around the bust. The waist was a bit iffy, but I think by adding those darts, it's a little better. It's still a little bit loose, but it's not terrible. Like, a bit better. A bit better. I think, I guess, having the straps as well will make it even better. Yeah, it's good. Kind of squat so you can see it, but it's on. I got it on. I'll pin it onto the mannequin now as well, so that you can actually see it on the mannequin. Ooh. I want my cardigan first. The cardigan is important. Require. There we go. We got cardigan. Right, where's headset? There it is. I hope you're having a good day, Hasha. Oh. Also, I'm very tall now because I've come back to kneeling, which is not a good position to stay in. I accidentally knelt for like an entire stream. When did I do it? Like, not that long ago, and it was a big mistake. I do not want to do that again. It was like 4 hours of kneeling. It was bad. It was very bad. Right, let's get this pinned on the mannequin. As you can see. I think the only thing would be, like, bear in mind this does have seam allowance on it, and so because of that, it will look a little different to the final product because it will have an extra centimetre basically going the entire way around it. You have to kind of take it back in your mind by about a centimetre. But that's cool. It kind of just be like that. And there. I guess that's like especially important with this bit at the front because it does be covering quite a bit, but I mean that's kind of the design also. Oh yeah. Put that up there. There we go. Oh, it only just goes now, but that's okay. I thought that would happen if I took any more off the waist. That's okay, because it fits me better. And I'm not the mannequin. Yes. That's kind of what we got now. It doesn't look very detailed compared to the work that we've already done. But I like it a lot. And it's a really good base. It's got really nice little, like, down there. And you can kind of see now what we were working with the bust, like, poking out. And yeah. Also, hydrate. I can hydrate, gone. Thank you for the hydrate. I really like that. I think it looks really cool. And we'll have a piece of bias around here that will become the like strap, but I kind of have to do the lining and everything like that first. I think it's already fit. And now it needs more details. It needs all the little lines and everything there. It needs the purple. And it needs some lining, but I haven't really decided what I want to use as lining fabric yet. I don't know, I'm kind of between whether or not I line it with another cotton fabric and keep it very plain, or if I do like a more shiny fabric on the inside. I'm not sure, I'm kind of between on that one. Because I could do a shiny fabric, more like what I've used in the bust oil. It's technically shiny, but it's very subtle. Not like a really, really intense shiny lining fabric, I wouldn't go to that, but like, I don't know, I'm just sort of, I'm in between. If I had something like with a hint of snowflakes, I would definitely put that on the inside. But I don't really have anything like that right now. It's coming up to winter, but I don't really see a lot of Christmas fabric in the shops either. So, not really sure. Not really sure. But yeah, this is definitely coming along. Definitely coming along. You can also see how small the details that are coming out the front are going to appear. They really don't show up that much once the coat is on top, huh? They're going to be really subtle. But yes, I really like it. Will the shine will outshine the gold? The gold is quite subtle. I can show you it. It's this. I say it's quite subtle. It does look shiny on camera. So it's a iron-on gold. So because it's iron-on, it's very easy to use, and that was kind of the plan. I wanted something quite easy to use with the gold. I didn't want to be doing anything too intense. It has got some shimmer to it, but it's not too much. Oh, Wolfie, thank you so much for the follow. It's very kind of you. But yeah, it's not too much. I don't know if I can really show you too much of it, but it's basically, I'll cut out the shape that I want from it. So in this case, it'll be like a bird style shape and a couple of separate lines, and then I'll iron it on. And because of the fabric that it's going onto, I didn't want to do too much extra stitching because it's quite a delicate fabric. So doing something really intense and a lot of applique work wouldn't have worked very well for it. So I was like, ironing is going to be better in this particular scenario. I very rarely use this, but for this, yeah, it felt right. How are you? I'm good, thank you, Wolfie. I'm good. We've actually just made this coat, sewn it together. It's very, very simple right now. We've not added any extra details or anything like that. But I ran out of purple thread, so I couldn't finish the skirt part underneath. But it's been a good opportunity to make the pattern for the coat. So that's what we've done. Oh, so you want to make the purple shine too? I kind of wanted to make the white on the inside of the coat shine. Is that a bit much? That's kind of what I wanted. So like this bit here, this bit on the inside of the coat, so of the coat tails, I was like, do I want that to be like shiny? Because Emilia is like very, well, she's a half elf for a start, but I don't know, it kind of feels magical, right? And she's like kind of a magical character, and like all of the white, and we're coming into winter as well, like the snow feels right, okay? Like it just feels right. But I don't want it to be really gaudy and in your face when we spent so much time making it really delicate. But I don't know. I don't really have any fabrics like that right now, unfortunately. I used to have a really nice one, but I used a lot of it when I made my Glaceon costume. And I haven't seen anything similar to that since then, unfortunately. I don't think I can really repurpose any of the fabric that I used then for such a large piece. So I think I'd be kind of, yeah, I don't think I could really do that. Oh well, it's fine. It's a thought. If I happen to see any, I'll pick it up. But I don't think that I will. I think I'll probably be done then today. I know it's a much shorter stream, but until I know what I'm going to be lining this with, I can't really take this too much further. I'm not going to be doing the sleeves just now because I'm looking for a pattern that I don't know where it is. And I can't do purple. I can't do anything purple because I've run out of purple thread. I've kind of left myself in a bit of a like situation with this costume. Emilia is jelly. I'm a jelly. I'm a jelly. I'm a jelly of the snowy fabrics is what I am. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's too much else we can do right now because yeah, I think I would need other things which either I'm going to pick up this weekend or I need to find things, which there is, I would say that I'd look on stream, but I tell you right now, there is no point in me looking on stream, no point. It would be a nightmare. It would just be a bad time and I don't recommend it. So yeah, I think we're good for the day, but that's okay. This was at the end of the day, a very productive stream because we've made a whole other piece of the costume. Do you have to order online what you need? Yeah, I'll either have to order it online or I am going into work tomorrow, so I can definitely have a little look around and see if in town there is you know, I can get thread while I'm in town for sure. So I can definitely get thread while I'm in town. I can have a look to see if there's any more Christmassy fabrics like with snow on them while I'm there. I just don't have my hopes up because it doesn't seem to be a priority right now for a lot of stores, like it sometimes is in other years. And that's fair, but the thread I can definitely get tomorrow. You have your hair, it's purple. No, it's pink and yellow. But I see where you're coming from. Oh yeah, tomorrow you work. Till Monday again? Till Monday again. Yes, gone. So, I'll be streaming again on Monday. And we will... Today I think we're going to raid... I think we're going to raid Lady. Because we've not raided Lady for a long time. Because, be honest, Lady normally finishes before us. So I've not been able to raid Lady for a while. But she is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful crafter. And does a lot of other cool stuff as well. But yes, we're going to raid her. Also, if you would like a raid message, here are some raid messages. Oh, okay. Well, we don't have that one. That's all fine. I'm going to be streaming again on Monday. On Monday, we'll be doing our craft stream again with more materials this time so I can actually continue and do a bit more. Hopefully, we'll be going back to the skirt and sort of doing that because I'd like to get that finished and attached to the dress. The dress is just done, and then we can actually do the coat, which should be much quicker. The coat's going to be a quick one, I think. I think the coat's going to be proper quick because it's just attaching a lining and then doing bits around the outside. Thank you, Sam. That's very kind of you. Have a lovely weekend as well. And Gon, thank you, and Sai. Yes, we're going to send lots and lots of love over to Lady because she is just lovely, lovely, and deserves all the love in the world. So yes, we're going to send them lots and lots of love. But otherwise, please everybody enjoy your weekend, and I shall see you soon. Toodles! Toodles again. See you soon.